Today we are exploring the largest abandoned mansion in America, Lynnewood Hall. Sitting at over 100,000 square feet, this mansion, twice the size of the White House, is arguably one of the most grand residences in America. It has a whopping 110 rooms, 55 of which were bedrooms. The rest included its own sports room with an indoor pool walled with marble, an art gallery which housed the most significant collection in America's history, a ballroom that could fit 1,000 guests, a wine cellar that held hundreds of expensive bottles, vast underground tunnels, and even an electric power plant. But that's not even covering the other buildings, which include the chef's house and a guest mansion. Yes, you heard that right, a guest mansion. But first, how does this even exist? And why was it abandoned? It's no longer abandoned, by the way. It was the summer of 2024, and we were one of the first explorers to drive up through the gates. The property had been abandoned since the 90s. The mansion's construction began in 1897 for a man named Peter A.B. Widener, one of the richest men in American history, who made his money on rail, gas, oil, and steel. Peter appointed the architect Horace Trumbauer to build the home on 300 acres, and after only 2 years, the first gala was held, signifying its near completion. Prominent art dealers scoured the globe for interior features. Many came from Europe, imported from other estates. The mansion took $8 million to build, equivalent to $300 million today. Every aspect had carefully crafted gilded moldings, the rooms furnished with furniture from palaces, and halls crammed with the most important artwork ever collected in America. It was a home that the billionaires of today could only dream of. In 1912, Peter's eldest son would unknowingly change the outcome of Lynnewood Hall forever. He departed on the RMS Titanic for business and never returned. After the family's excruciating loss, Peter's health was never the same, and he passed away in 1915, only living in the home about 16 years. Peter's other surviving son took over the estate, managing it so well that it survived the Great Depression. Their art gallery was even opened up to the public by Joseph, the son, something that was unheard of for any rich family to do. The remaining family established charities, schools, and other foundations to give back to the world in which gave them so much. Joseph died in 1943. In his death, America's rarest art collection was donated to the National Gallery in D.C. To this day, it is the bulk of the museum's collection. In 1953, Lynnewood Hall was purchased for over $200,000, or around $2 million today, by a Christian training school. For 40 years, the building continued to be used until the organization ran into financial troubles. Large parts of the mansion's interior were sold to get any remaining semblance of revenue. It sold in 1996 to a Korean church. By then, all 3 buildings were abandoned. The church planned to restore the building and return it to a church, but failed multiple times in a string of applications and lawsuits, leading the buildings to decay more and more. That was all until 2023, when the Lynnewood Hall Preservation Foundation purchased the property with intent to reawaken the building once again.
Yeah, my name is Everett Tome, and I'm the Executive Director for Lynnewood Hall Preservation Foundation. We acquired the building in 2023. What we're trying to do is stabilize and restore this building and make sure that this is going to survive for the next 5, 10 generations and further, so that it continues to be a cultural resource and source of inspiration and beyond for the community.
Of course, I couldn't have gained access to this building myself. The Bros of Decay helped us get in here. They made some incredible documentaries on this place. They filmed their last one while we were still here. Link down below. And thanks to Silent Hill's exploration, he had a huge role to play as well, bringing me as a one-up. Check him out too. In reality, this is going to be the last video ever filmed of Lynnewood Hall in its abandoned state. It's the end of an exploring era, with a happy ending. But just how impressive is this building, built in 1897? Let's ask Edward.
What's your favorite feature of this house?
I don't think I've ever been asked that. its construction and its design. This building is terribly modern for its day. I mean, every single floor is a foot thick of concrete, steel I-beam, rebar. It's all barrel and vaulted. Most residential buildings have at least some semblance of timber framing in them. It's built like a factory with a really pretty facade and lovely, sumptuous interiors, but that is so impressive to me because we don't even build buildings like that today. None of the ceilings have buckled. You won't fall through a floor here. I mean, it truly is just a masterpiece of engineering and design, and the scale is unbelievable. I mean, whatever you think the house looks like from the road, it's bigger.
Ed's gonna tell us how he started this project towards the end, as I have a lot more questions for him. But let's go explore this building in its abandoned state for the very last time. So we are currently in front of the main side of this Gilded Age mansion, and the view is just incredible. This is at a scale that's unimaginable. It's so incredibly large. Over there's two statues as well. I'm gonna show you guys. Some of it's fallen into disrepair, but a lot of this stuff, I think all of this stuff is being saved and it's going to be fixed up. Right over here, you can see the fountain. Obviously there's no more water, but believe it or not, guys, there is an underground tunnel that goes all the way to here. And there's a giant like underground pit. It's absolutely insane. I cannot wait to show you guys this. Imagine a tunnel going all the way through here. Crazy. So on the left side here is a 17th century French statue. This needs some restoration too, but it's absolutely beautiful. I mean, imagine what just one of these would have costed back in the day. There's more statues too, I believe, all around. But imagine having this at your house back in the day. Walking up to the front, it's at a scale I can't even describe to you guys. The camera does not do it justice. All this grass right here will become concrete as it used to be back in the day. Right now, they mow it, but they're gonna do a lot of restoration here. You got the post office back there. In the old photos I saw, there was no post office, just a couple estates kind of lying around. Otherwise, nothing. But here we go, we got two more fountains here. The underground tunnels lead to both these fountains as well. This one, I think, it appears it was cleaned out, and this one hasn't yet. That's why there's grass or weeds on one side and not on the other. Certainly looks like it's getting cleaned. I could imagine maybe having some koi in here, some fish, maybe a couple frogs. I mean, this is such a luxurious fountain. So right here is one of the other gardens. You would have been able to drive a car right through here. Here is one of the bridges, and there's stairs on both sides as well. So now we're up to the front of the house, and you could see all this detail here. These were all little blocks, all kind of placed together, so they didn't put this up all at once. Towering over me, and this was, you know, somebody's private residence. Look at the pillars here. I'll show you guys in a second. I don't even know if I could put my arms around these. So I'm holding the camera, but just as a, you know, a little comparison, here's my hand. But right over there, we got cameras all around the building. So they've secured this place pretty well. I wanted to take a step back and just admire this. All this work, I mean, somebody made this stuff with their hands, guys. This was not factory produced. Everything in this house was all made with hard work and dedication. I want to show you guys a couple parts on the outside. So this goes into the basement. Right here, all this stuff was, whatever this is, was just over the basement. There was like a kind of purple light, I would imagine, going down. As we go around the back, sorry about that alarm, guys. As we go around the back, here's one of the rooms. There wouldn't have been any doors here back in the day. And here's the shape it's in right now. So it just rained, and they have no gutters here. The church that bought this in the 60s actually had no plan of putting gutters, so water just comes down here. You can see this incredible marble flooring as well. As you can see, all the trim has fallen but this one side. And look at all the detail on that.
this as well. Every aspect of this house has so much detail. Right behind here is the ballroom. I cannot wait to show you this. I wanted to explain though, what they're gonna do with all this stuff.
This room is a good example to teach young restorers how exactly to fix everything back to its original state. These restorers will be taught how to use what they have that's preserved and replicate it to make the home look like it's original once again.
All right, everybody, we moved to the left side of the building. Right here, I see another manhole cover. I'm really excited for what's down there. I wonder if you could see back up from the outside. And back down there, believe it or not, is another mansion I'm going to show you guys very soon. I wanted to show you guys this other room as you can't access it from the inside. But this room as well wouldn't have had any of these doors here. It would have just been completely open. And right there, we have to be careful because there is a guard watching this house. He'll attack you. I'll explain more about that. But here's the way in here. And it's a little bit different, actually, than the other room. As you can see, we have these awesome pillars here and detailing. This appears to be made of wood. Yeah. They're gonna somehow recreate a lot of this stuff. The flooding isn't so bad in here though. But can you just imagine sitting here, maybe some chairs, hanging out, enjoying the summer weather. Of course, these doors wouldn't be here. Hearing the birds. So now we're looking at the side of the building. You can just see how large it is. This is like another version of this. It goes all the way back. There's another goose. The father tried to attack us. So they started laying some eggs down there. And that's why they're so hostile right now. After the spring is over and it's late summer, these geese will be gone. But for now, I'm not going towards this side of the house. So avoiding the angry geese over there, we're gonna go check out the chef's house. That's right, the chef has his own house on this estate. Right here, what you see here, it looks like a basketball court. It probably was later on, but this was originally a tennis court. And as you can see, it's gotten very overgrown. You can see they later added basketball hoops here. Pretty interesting old look at these hoops. But here's the chef's house, guys. I'm curious to check this out because I haven't even seen this yet. Apparently it's super decayed inside. So we're at the house now, and imagine being the chef and having your own house like this. And look who we have on the property. Silent Hills Exploration.
Right.
Do you know the story behind this house?
I do, yeah. So it was owned by the chef of the owners of the main home. And he was living a good life, obviously living in this giant home just to be a chef. But one day he ended up getting arrested because he did have a collection of antiques. And those antiques included some old guns. And the CIA, whatever FBI came after him because those guns were actually stolen. But they came to find out the chef himself did not steal them. He bought them off someone who did. And so he was arrested for a little while. And the owners of the main house were obviously not happy that their chef was just taken away from them. And so they went to bail him out, I guess, to sort things out. And they ended up having to pay a little fine, but he was able to get out and everything was sorted out. So it's all good.
They have the original sign from the church that used to be here. Check that out. Faith Seminary. Faith Seminary. It's cool that they kept that. That's history in itself for what kind of transpired here all those years ago. I'm excited to see the inside of this place though. Let's check out the other side of this place real quick. Here we are. And look at that. The power is still working. Awesome. It's pretty collapsed. But anyways, guys, here's the kitchen. This is where he would have hung out at and made his food. Sad to see the shape it's gotten in. Here's the front of the house. While not as towering as the bigger mansion next to it, I mean, this is still pretty large. It's got its own pillars made of solid concrete. Let's take a look inside if we can. And wow, I am not walking on that floor, guys. It's dipping down real bad. But here's the staircase. You could see how bad this collapsed. But this would be easier to restore as it's a smaller home. If we could take a look back there, they are kind of keeping it up here with some stilts, which is great. So here we are at what would have been the garden. There's a couple stones still here. There's the other mansion we'll check out in a second. But these stones are just a little bit of what is left. This used to be all gravel, concrete. There was huge urns that all sat around here and plenty of flowers. And one of the urns is currently at a college. So they might go to the college and grab the urn and bring it back here to its original place, which would be awesome. Another thing I wanted to mention is these trees. A lot of them are imported. I believe this one's from Asia. You can see the kind of flowers. That's not a good example, but they smell really good. It smells like perfume. But guys, I can't wait to check out the mansion down there. Well, here we are, guys, at the front of the mansion. 3, 2, 1. All right, guys, we're in. Look at this. Reminds me of a home from France. Right off the bat. Look at this molding here they got. Look at that. That's of the Final Supper. Of course, it's been a bit destroyed now. Right over here too, you can see a vintage fridge from the probably the 60s or so. We are currently inside the guest mansion of Lynnewood Hall. Back in the day, it was used first for horse stables, then about 10 years later it was used for German shepherds. It was finally used for the son and the daughter of the original owner of the mansion. Afterwards, this was turned into a church around 1952. Since then, it's been kind of in disrepair after the church left. There's a couple things left from the church. They use the top portion as apartments for the people attending the church. There's a couple more rooms that are still intact from back when it was used just for the son and the daughter. Let's go check this out real quick. But anyways, here's the main view. It's absolutely incredible. This is kind of the main hall. So there are restoration efforts underway currently. As you can see, this room has been totally cleaned up. Amazing. The fireplace, it seems, has been taken out and salvaged by the church. I remember the church sold a lot of ornaments and parts from this home and Lynnewood Hall, unfortunately. But there's still quite a few original fixtures left. Along the stairs here, there's a couple pieces of the wall and ceiling that have been salvaged. Here's a 1954 license plate. A couple other things. This is actually from the church here. The Army and Navy of the United States, in recognition of the patriotic sacrifices. Pretty cool. A couple other things. I've seen this at a couple churches. And here's a big photo of the home. Might have been here originally when the church owned it. Quick look at the first floor. This was right here. Originally a very large room. These walls were placed after the church took ownership. You can see right here, there's a piano here. Please still works. It still does. This fireplace seems like it was added later. Here's one of the bathrooms on the first floor. This room right here, you can see original writing from the church as well. Obviously, it's from the church. But these walls are all gonna go during restoration. These will stay, and this will stay, obviously. Look at that detail. But yeah, I can't get over this. I mean, this really reminds me of something you'd see straight out of Europe.
And a really cool thing about all these rooms is they have moldings right there on the top. And those are 3D too, so that makes it even harder to make, more rare, and a lot more expensive as well. So it's just a really cool thing to mention and just appreciate too.
So as we go upstairs, I'm still appreciating all the detail in this beautiful home. I mean, just that up there. Originally, I thought it was a skylight, but it doesn't look like it. I almost wonder if there were paintings up there at some point. Maybe. So now we're on the left side of the home upstairs. And I wanted to show you guys this bathroom here. It's actually pretty hard to walk. Look at this marble bathtub. I've never seen a marble bathtub in a home besides Lynnewood Hall and the other homes next to it. But yeah, look, this is all marble. I mean, the amount of marble that went into this house, let's just say it's a lot. There are a couple chairs left behind from the church. And I want to show you guys this bathroom up ahead real quick. It's another marble one. So this right here would have been the woman's bathroom, judging by the wallpaper, but you never know. They have a huge mirror, marble bathtub, and a bad sink. But over here you can kind of see the actual home, how it kind of wraps around a little bit, the patio. Look above you.
Oh.
Yeah, dude, I keep, like, I don't even see all the details.
Yeah.
Like, there's just so many.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm just overwhelmed. There's so much to see. And
We're now on the right side of this mansion. Here's a little book area. We're kind of on the flat side, as in the apartment side. And apparently this room was one of the rooms used for where kids would play. It seems this fireplace here was actually original, and it's the only original one in the home. Very cool. I would say that's marble, but very cool to appreciate that. This room they're in the process of cleaning up right now too, as you can see. Right here's where the nannies would have stayed. I meant to say that back there was the nursery. But check it out. Lights are working. This old home. Here's some more of the evidence that this was an apartment at one time. A couple things here and there. I don't think there's too many items left otherwise. This whole side of the house is really collapsing, as you can see. Yeah, there's an old drawer still there. Pretty cool how this the apartment side is preserved.
that decay is sick.
Yeah.
One thing I've noticed after exploring for a long period of time is places for rent often go abandoned, and the tenant stuff is usually still left behind.
Well, last but not least, we have the attic. See if the lights turn on. Oh, they do. All right. We're currently in the attic. Not terribly too much to see. A couple items, but no real beauty. But I have to say, it's kind of cool how the church left stuff behind up here. Who knows how old some of this stuff is. You see this? This was all destroyed by people who came in here. Quote unquote urbexers, or I would say the local kids. So this is gonna cost them so much more money to fix just because somebody decided to smash the stairs. So we just found out there's a basement here. I didn't even check this out on our initial tour. Here's all the school desks from the church. I did not notice that. It looks like there's a lot of furniture around here. I didn't expect this to be down here. Another cool thing, I found a motorcycle engine in the corner. Plenty of stuff. I also noticed just recently it looks like this stuff was installed to keep the mansion from falling apart, caving in on itself.
Bro, we can run faster than them, bro. All right, we'll get in a chase.
Dude, I don't know. Dude.
All right, let me tie the shoes.
Dude, he's gonna get, dude, I don't think, dude, no, dude. I don't think you understand how ferocious this beast is.
I can run faster than it.
We then recharged, got lunch, and decided to enter the main building.
So guys, we're about to go inside. I'm here with Silent Hills Exploration and Bros of Decay, and they're gonna show me around. Should be pretty interesting.
House of Peter A.B. Widener, Lynnewood Hall. Yeah.
Let's check it out.
It's maybe interesting to note that this place is a Gilded Age mansion, and it's the largest Gilded Age mansion in the United States. Bigger than the White House.
2 times bigger.
2 times bigger than the White House. 110 rooms, 55 bedrooms, and the other details I'm not 100% sure about anymore.
Yeah, there's 5 or 6 galleries. There's 1 ballroom. There's a smoking room.
Smoking room.
There's multiple
guest rooms.
Yeah. There's
Workers'
2 main
rooms,
rooms.
basements, ceiling, attics. It's one of the biggest places ever in the United States. Like,
And this is the big hall.
This is absolutely huge.
Back in the time, this used to be even more designed than it's right now. You can see the crown molding everywhere around the doorways and the arches, and they used to be even more elaborate back in the time.
And this room would have like this huge table in the middle, vases everywhere. This would be full of stuff.
Yeah.
Not a single piece you would see the wall or the floor even. There was a huge carpet over here.
So now let's go upstairs. Right as you walk in, there's a huge art gallery right in front of me. But right above is this amazing skylight. Absolutely incredible. Stained glass. But this would have been glass and I believe lead in the middle. Wait till you see above this. Here we are in the art room, as I like to call it. This room and the ones further up held so many famous art pieces. Right now, they're all across the world, but at one time, this held a lot of art all over the walls. But look at the giant pieces of wood on the wall that have all these patterns. Not to mention the ceiling. This is actually a skylight. I'll show you guys the upper floor later on. You see, there's lion heads on the trim all along the wall. This is just a room for their million dollar art collection. We have some pieces here that we're gonna try to replicate for restoration. So we got a bunch of Christian articles and stuff like that. These doors are heavy. They have an incredible pattern here. Amazing. And as we get to here, you can see it's starting to get more decayed. Check out these old light switches. But the reason this room is bad, and wait till you get to this room, I'll show you guys it's even worse. The reason this is bad, this part of the home was abandoned way before the church even left this place. This was mainly used for storage. Look at that on the walls. There was paintings on the wall, and it's all kind of gone away now. Wow. But yeah, this was like kind of just an old storage room, and they kind of stopped taking care of it. As you can see, we got some more things here, some more of the plaster or concrete that they had on the wall. And look at these amazing things that artists made for this home. But let's get to the worst room here. Look at that, guys. They have a piano, or an organ, I should probably say. Look at the pattern on this, though. Wow. The detail that went into all this old stuff is absolutely incredible. And it's falling into the floor. This side of the house and this side right here is all falling. The stairs, guys, are gone. This leads to the pool room. We're right above that. The pool room is crazy. I can't wait to show you guys that. They're gonna completely take this stairway out and actually turn it into an elevator. And they're gonna also widen these doors, but everything will be saved, I promise. The railings, the wooden trim around here, I mean, look at that. This is all gonna be saved and probably put on display once this becomes a sort of museum. But crazy to imagine that a place of this size has fallen into this much disrepair. And here's the room that's really kind of fallen apart. Look at the ceiling. Look at the pattern on this ceiling. It's a crime that this has fallen into such disrepair. It's incredible what the men and women have done to begin to try to preserve this place. I mean, this is all gonna be restored to like near original. Imagine these chunks falling on you guys. This is heavy stuff. And these doors here, these doors are insanely heavy too. But these are made of solid bronze. So if you're a scrapper, even, man, one of these doors would give you $10,000, something like that, a lot of money. They've saved a couple things here, as you can see as well. So this stuff is gonna be either reference for restoration or actually put back. So much detail went into a little piece that's on this massive ceiling. I mean, this is huge. So as we're heading out here, this is just insane. I'm in awe that this was somebody's home. And all this is like a church, and this is just one room. I also wanted to mention, this red velvet here, there's actually some graffiti here that people put on here when it was abandoned, but this red velvet is behind all these walls here. Look, see it? So this was original, so this would have all been purple. So above all this is a third floor that wraps all the way around. With a better angle and better lighting, you can truly see how grand this place is. Every little detail in this place is massive. All this stuff was put here. I'm zoomed in all the way, by the way. I can't even begin to show you guys the scale of this. I mean, just in the railings alone, this stuff's all bronze or copper or brass or a mixture. The amount that this would cost to build today, nearly impossible to put in any house, at least on this scale. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Each one of these in melt value alone would be an incredible amount. And the fact that they're still standing here, not destroyed, makes it a lot easier for the people working on this for sure. Actually, Silent Hills just turned on all the lights here. So I was filming in darkness for no reason really. Looks a lot cooler with the lights on, I gotta say.
Now, let's go to the first floor and check out the incredible ballroom and guest room in the right side of the house.
So right here is the guest room, and right off the bat, you can see how incredibly detailed this is. All this stuff above here is gold leaf for the most part, being restored right now. Some of it was painted over, but most of it is golden leaf. And the amount of detail is absolutely incredible. So what do you guys think about all the moldings and stuff here? This must have been made by somebody, handmade, I would imagine, right? Not mass produced.
It's surely handmade. Yeah. Like, all of these moldings are handmade. So the main purpose of this room was actually to welcome guests inside Lynnewood Hall, sit them here and arrange the business over here. That a lot of important places always have waiting rooms or guest rooms, as they call them, for not so important people to not go throughout the house.
This is the whole wall, so it's like half fake, half real. That's great. You can see from this side.
This doesn't open up.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just to make it the rooms symmetrical, because you see behind you.
Oh yeah.
It's weird. Yeah.
Otherwise, we'll not line up at this door.
Yeah, because this is a sliding door.
Something very important that you're pointing out right now is you can look all the way down the hallway here, and that's the longest enfilade in the United States.
Yeah, I think one of the longest.
Yeah.
One of the longest, yeah, for sure. That door is closed, and the one behind you is also closed. But if they're both open, you could see from outside, from both ends.
Yeah.
Also the floor, point out the floor, because the floor is a French style. All the French castles have this type of floor. It's like the chess floor. Checkers. Call it checkers, chess floor. Yeah.
Now, right behind me is the ballroom.
So I realize now that the echo was kind of bad and the lighting was kind of bad for that whole scene that I just filmed in here. So I'm going to describe it myself. But this right here, guys, was the ballroom for Lynnewood Hall. It's absolutely stunning. Apparently it was 21 million or more just for the gold plating on the walls here, just for this one room, something similar. But look at the paintings on the ceiling. Guys, you wouldn't believe it, but these were done and then installed later on. These were not painted on the ceiling. These were done and then put up on the ceiling. This is incredible work. Incredible work. They would have had so many parties in this room. I mean, just imagine. You could see one of the paintings is actually fallen, which is very unfortunate to see. But the rest are incredibly intact for a place being in such disrepair. But there's all sorts of things along the walls here that mean something. You could see there's a flower kind of in the middle of this pillar. All this kind of stuff is like hidden secrets that mean something to the owner or the artist. But this is incredible work that was handcrafted along the walls here. Just an unimaginable scale, something you would rarely see at any house in the United States. And this fireplace is work in itself. It's huge. And this is something I believe that was actually imported from a palace somewhere in Europe. Probably from Italy by the looks of it. For how badly local kids have destroyed this place, it's still in immaculate shape. And the restoration is totally gonna go on. By the looks of it, this can totally all be saved. And it will be. By the way, back when the church was here, they actually put these chandeliers here, and they were much cooler chandeliers that were on the walls or the ceilings here. So, I mean, imagine it would have looked a lot cooler than even how it looks now. Also, right here, there's actually a painting that's gone. Whatever painting was here held a lot of historical significance. Unfortunately, I'm not sure. Actually, we're all not sure exactly what it was. A great painting was right above this fireplace, and besides the ones on the ceiling, the one on the fireplace is the only one that would have been on the walls, I think. Maybe there's some room.
You know, it's an interesting amalgamation of the old world and the new. And what I mean by that is you have this wonderful design emulating these old palaces of Europe, married with these wonderful modern technologies such as electricity, such as a central heating system with ductwork in the wall, which is original to the construction. We had central vacuum here. We had an electric call button system. I mean, all of this at the turn of the century was quite progressive. The turn of the 19th into 20th century was quite progressive at the time. But, you know, the history here as well is also quite significant. You know, you had Horace Trumbauer, for example, the architect, who was just 27 years old when he designed this building. He had never visited Europe. His entire life, he never visited Europe. He copied designs out of books and sketches that he had seen. The proportion and scale of Trumbauer buildings really is what makes them stand apart.
Now, let's enter the left side of the house. It's equally as incredible.
So right on the left side of the building, we have this marvelous walkway, complete with all sorts of things along the walls. And this is starting to look nice. We have a stairway right there. We'll check that out later though. Look at this mirror. Awesome. Somebody always has to break something. But guys, this is one of the rooms that's been mainly restored. And it looks really nice besides the mirror. Why did someone have to do that?
This is the cigar room. It features a hidden room behind the bookshelf. The room is undergoing restoration and is now a hangout spot for the new owner.
So this is like the cigar room. I could smell it. Awesome furniture, by the way. And, yeah. They've really made it look nice. There's only a couple rooms here that have really been restored, or an attempt at restoration. But guys, I wanted to show you something really cool. So, just a normal bookshelf, right? Wrong. Actually, fake books. Look at that. It's actually a bathroom. A men's room. Look at this. So this was all for the people that would smoke cigars. Here's the bathroom. Outside of the cigar room, the main dinner room, lunchroom, dinner room. Look at the flooring on here. And actually, all these walls were covered with marble, but the church since sold it off. I have a couple books here as well, likely from the church. And some awesome woodwork here along the fireplace. This fireplace, I wonder if it's original or not. It doesn't look too original. Back out there is kind of the sunroom. You can actually see some of the original marble that would have been on the walls. And this would have been nice. So they kept some of this stuff here, which is great. But anyways, yeah, so there's this secondary staircase here. Actually goes downstairs as well. We still haven't shown you guys the downstairs. But there's this room right here. Completely made of marble besides kind of the cupboards and everything. There's still cups in there. And this was one of the chef's rooms. Actually, guys, it goes to a second room up here. I'll show you guys. You can see even like the non-major stairs are still made of marble. Incredible. Keeps going up too. But yeah, let's check this room out. And this room is full of books, and these are original to the church. All got mold on them and stuff now. But all these documents still left. They'll probably keep them here. This is pretty small. I'm like ducking down right now. So I just got confirmation about the pool room being open. This has been closed the whole time we've been here.
So behind me is one of the more unseen sections of the property. This is the marble swimming pool, which is unfortunately severely decayed. So in the back section of the building, this whole area here was added in 1908, 1909 as an addition. In the late 60s, early 70s, there were a lot of roof leaks that were happening back here. They weren't properly taken care of, so the water's now come down to the pool area and it's really turned it into a wreck. But anyway, it is here. So we have the pool here. We have a 2-story squash court to my right, which is now the room where the furnace is. That's where the seminary put a furnace in the 1950s. To my left, we have 2 dressing rooms on this level, and then on the ground level beneath us, we have a gymnasium and a 4-room marble Turkish bath. So you really have a small sports complex here. And then there was a staircase right here that went upstairs to the galleries. Unfortunately, that staircase is no longer there, but it is a really neat little complex here behind me.
So here we are in the pool room. We get to have a rare look through here. This hasn't been accessed in a while because of this. These incredibly thick pieces of marble have fallen on the ground. You see how thick that is? I was told that would kill you if it fell on you. That one looks like it's about to fall right there. So this is the only look we're gonna get, but I think it's a good look at this pool room. And there goes my light. But I will charge this up and get a better view for you guys. So we're back with another flashlight. I noticed all the rust here. So all the reason the marble's falling is because of all the stuff keeping it up is rusting away, which is holding the marble, and in turn the marble falls. They were having a party or something. A bunch of people would be playing in this pool, hanging out. I mean, there's sides here where you could sit in chairs. And this was way back in the day, before most people had pools in their house. You know, this was an extreme luxury. You know, nowadays it's a little bit more common, but I mean, back in the day, a pool, you know, in your house is pretty crazy to me. So we wanna go downstairs. You wanna go down there? Oh wow! This powered like the whole house, dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
Over there's the gymnasium right through that hallway right there.
Oh man.
And wow, it's huge. I love the natural lighting up there. You don't even need the flashlight. If you put the flashlight out, you can still see well.
Oh, true. This is incredible.
You heard that right. This furnace room powered the entire home.
Hey guys, so this whole time I haven't really shown the basement yet. Well, the basement's right behind us. It's been dark the whole time. We finally turned on all the lights, and there's tunnels that go all the way to the fountain. I'm sure I've already explained that, but I'm pretty excited to check this out. So let's head down there and see what we can find.
Joseph Widener, Peter Widener's son, was huge in the equestrian world. Even to this day, people are very familiar with the name Widener. And he had won lots and lots of trophies over the years. Some of them were gold, some of them were silver, all of which were stored in here. So this entire room was created just to protect, but also display these trophies. So let's take a look at this. This entire room is made of railroad steel, and you have these giant vitrines, curio cabinets, whatever you want to call them, with this beautiful black velvet backing in here. So this is where he would display a lot of these trophies, and I don't know what was in these drawers, probably, you know, documents pertaining to whatever. But yeah, these gorgeous trophies cabinets in here. Even the light fixtures are these stunning E.F. Caldwell fixtures. I mean, every finish in here was to be equally as beautiful as some of the rooms upstairs as well. This is the East Hall. Look at that. Over here is the servants' billiards room. You have this gorgeous fireplace. So this actually was the bowling alley. Originally, all these rooms here on the left were gone. They had a giant bowling alley here, and in later years they took the bowling alley out and they made this the servants' billiards room. We have our mail room here. I also want to point out central vacuum system. We have central vacuum from the basement all the way to the attic, that's a luxury today, but back in this day this was an extreme luxury.
What does that mean?
Central vacuum means that there's an internal vacuum built into the house. All you have to do is plug a hose into that, and then you have your vacuum wand on the hose, and you don't have to lug an actual machine around the building. You just kind of plug in wherever those outlets are, and those are all over the building. Mail room is back there. This is the upholstery shop. These gorgeous cabinets here in front of me. This is where they would store a lot of their fabrics and their materials. So at the very end of the hall, we have the wine cellar. The only person that had access to the wine cellar back in the day was the butler. And the children of the Wideners would always make it their mission to try to steal the key from him. They never succeeded in that, but this is the wine cellar today. It's a relatively simple space. I'm not sure how much of this shelving is original. I doubt most of it is, but to give you an idea of some of the stuff that would have been stored in here, we had 50-some bottles of absinthe. I mean, they had a combination of 200 to 300 bottles of Veuve Clicquot champagne. They had 690 bottles of gin. They had about 300 and some bottles of brandy. So it gives you an idea of what was in this room, which is pretty fascinating at the time.
Now, the moment you all been waiting for, we enter the tunnels underneath the courtyard.
What do you think of that? It's cool. Isn't that cool?
I can't imagine this is somebody's house.
Oh yeah. These are your side access tunnels. These go to the main fountains on either side of the building, so you can service them.
So these tunnels right here also go to the sub-basement, but they're full of asbestos, so we can't really get down there. you can kind of get an idea of how extensive these are.
Yeah.
We got one small one right there.
And then we'll go down here to the main fountain basin. Watch your head on this right here. This neat.
So this is like the pump area, kind of. Seems. Oh, great.
Yeah, that's your pump room down there. It's a little bit flooded right now. This is the main fountain basin. There's a frog right there. See him swimming down at the bottom? Yeah. It's about 12 feet deep in total. This is a giant turbine fan. This was put in 1915, 1916. And at night this would be turned on. It brings the cool night air in and blasts it up into the basement of the house. And it cools the house at night, so it's not that hot in the summer. It's about 110 years old.
Now let's go back upstairs on the second floor on the left side to check out the master suite.
We're now on the second floor on the left side of the building. But here was all the bedrooms. I believe I was told these bedrooms here were for the daughter that lived here at the time. However, this might even be the master, because I think these bathrooms are way cooler. Look at this. There's another marble bathtub here. Incredible, and actually it's pretty large. But this is nice. The golden toilet, everything. I love it. I mean, this stuff costs a fortune, guys. This kind of sink, this bathtub especially, all costs a fortune. This had to have been the master, but I could be wrong. I've been told mixed things here. And strangely, there's a wood-burning stove in the middle of the room. I don't know what that's about, but this is an awesome mirror. Awesome setup here. So yeah, this kind of side of the house is all getting restored. I wanted to say, do you see these drawings here? What do you think? Recent graffiti? Incorrect. These drawings here, back when they destroyed the mirror, these drawings were uncovered. And these were made by the people that built this home, which is incredible. So these drawings go back to the 1800s. You can see their sense of humor was the same back then too. But we have a name signed here, a drawing of some people. There's a signature, I believe, that says 1800 or something of the sort. But I don't see it. Oh, look at that, guys. There it is. 1899. This is just incredible. So, I mean, this is something that needs to be saved in itself. I don't know what they're going to do, if they're going to restore this mirror or not. But this is true history right here. Just left and only recently uncovered. I mean, I'm curious on what else is in these walls. There could be anything in these walls, really, even money, for all I know. But more will be uncovered the more this home gets restored.
Equally as interesting, we take you onto the right side of the upstairs.
I mean, this house just keeps going. But you see what people did? All this has to be redone. But they've done such a good job. All the debris is out. There's a couple of rooms actually here. But look at that. Every part of this house, there's details. More flowers. You can see there were different layers, it seems. Or maybe that was blue all around. Look at that, guys. These were skylights and they're totally blocked off. But what a nice room. Look how the walls kind of go around. Here's, I believe, the master bathroom or something similar. The floors here have been also cleared. And we have more mirrors. Look at the way this is set up. Details everywhere. So you can kind of get an idea on what side of the house we are at now. So I believe the doors here actually open. Yup. At what some of the family members here experience on a day-to-day basis. I mean, this is something awesome. The small little details on every aspect of this house. The flowers up there, do you even see it? It's there. So the water just seeps through, and this is why this room below me is completely messed up. There's one more part of this room, actually. Seems to be another guest bedroom, maybe. Specially cut too, just for this. Just to fit around. Looks like we have even more rooms.
There's also an astronomical amount of minor guest bedrooms. These rooms were originally for the many, many guests that attended the parties and business meetings here. Afterwards, the church rented these rooms out as well, I think for apartments.
So here are the right side apartments. Look at this. Such a nice room. I mean, even for the guests and servers, this was still such a detailed room. Even if it's more simple. I love what they did with the walls and everything. Here would have been the bathroom. I would imagine that the servants would have lived around here. We have some more flats here. Another bed. I wonder if this was originally here. Most of this stuff is not new. It's always been here. I mean, look at that. That's from the church. Right outside though, look at that fountain. Just incredible that we got the opportunity to check this home out. Look at the landscapers. So there's a lot of landscaping being done all the time now. But this part of the home is actually still a little bit overgrown. It's a little bit hard to go through all this, to be honest. The lawnmower.
Now there were multiple apartments on the right and left side, but this is the one that had everything left. The rest were pretty empty.
It's so cool how there's still furniture left. This might have been one of the nicer spots here. Well, we still have some books left behind. But this room definitely needs some restoration. I mean, there's so many rooms. It's incredible. It's gonna take a lot. But hey, we made it to the other side. There's an old TV, a microwave, and some other things still in the cupboards. But I mean, this was one of many rooms. And actually, guys, after looking further into this bookshelf, there's some old stills. Unfortunately, most of them are too destroyed to really view. There's actually a wallet there. Plenty of stuff. There's even old golf clubs still left. I would imagine they would have played golf out there. Such a large property. But underneath all this dust is a beautiful floor that would have spanned the entire hallway. So every giant building always needs a maintenance room, right? Well, here it is. And it's kind of more than a maintenance room. But right off the bat, so this was an old radio from the church. We got a skylight they managed to put in here. That's to the lower rooms. That's higher up. A couple more things here and there. Got some more storage from the church. And this is where it gets interesting. So they do have an elevator in here. I forgot to show you guys. They're all the way down there. Filming a commercial. Wait, where's that light coming from? Oh, up there. But this leads to... oh, right there. Look at that, guys. I don't see them down there. But yeah, this entire area, actually kind of unexplored by me. I'm curious on what we'll find back here. Storage for some things. Check that out. Has to be from the church. There's another area right there with the skylight. Ooh, some clothes too. Interesting. But I want to show you guys this. So this room up ahead goes to the art room. And it's kind of a marvel. Here we have an old bathroom on the 4th floor. I gotta remind myself that. Oh my gosh. Wait, are there rooms up here? I think there's rooms, guys. There's rooms on the 4th floor. Another staircase going down too. Okay, here we go, guys. This is what I was gonna show you. So this right here, all above me, is supposed to be glass. Right now it's covered, but this is the... so right down here is the art room. I almost had a little mishap there. I don't know if you can exactly see, but this would be the skylight. And you could adjust it right here using this. So by adjusting this, you'd be able to move all of these windows. See, they all just close. Using one handle, one lever, I was able to do that. It's cool they added lights up here, which definitely helps with the view in the art room. Actually, I don't even know if I should be walking up here, but I just wanted to show you guys this. An incredible feat. Guys, mind you, we're not in a theater, we're in a house. We're in somebody's house. And there are even more rooms that I just have not checked out. Yeah, guys. So, I mean, look, think about it. The amount of guests they had here must have been bedrooms. Because if you're having hundreds of people over at your house, you're probably going to want to have maybe 10, maybe 20 people sleep over. Maybe 30. Maybe 40, you know what I mean? Like, this has so many bedrooms in this house. It's kind of crazy. Somebody destroyed that. Hey, look at that. I don't think I really explained this room too much either. I did go underneath it, but you can actually see into the office through this. You can kind of get a view, not office, but the art gallery. Pretty cool setup. Like I said, I think this is made out of lead, if I'm not wrong. Everything here is made of copper, brass, or lead or something. It's really expensive stuff. You would never go into a house today the way it is here. Times have changed. So surprise, surprise, I missed another entire set of rooms here. Guys, this mansion never ends. So these are more living quarters. I mean, this place is ginormous, ginormous. You see the work. They're really doing a good job clearing these rooms out. And, you know, they're finding old things like typewriters, and that's probably a old 8mm film projector. And on the walls here, you can see some memories from the church in memory of Miss Florence C. Powell, in memory of Miss Jens Iverson. So I don't know if these were living quarters, to be honest, now that I think about it. But I'll explain some more about that. Kind of reaching the end of this, I would say. There's that one bathroom, and they got actually a shower here, surprisingly. Very badly placed. This was definitely put in after the estate was sold to the church. That leads to the pool kind of room back there. You know what I really like too is this. I love that light right there. It's really cool. So it is a bit darker outside, you might notice. There's one more room that I did miss, and it's this part of the building. Now these were also just extra rooms here, but pretty cool nonetheless. I was staring at this thing earlier today. We got a big exercise bike here with an electric motor for some reason. I've never seen one of these before. Exercycle. Actually, it looks like this goes down, maybe? I don't know. But here we have some original graffiti from, I believe, the people that trespassed here back in the day. So we are back on the main floor, guys, and it is nighttime now. And I wanted to show you guys something you guys probably wouldn't expect here. Right through these glass doors is a different world compared to the rest of the home. Totally different.
If you have an appointment in Germany, you better be on time. If you're 5 minutes late, they just don't accept you.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Hey, what's up?
Yeah. That's fantastic.
Got a whole meeting back here. But yeah, so these are like the three kind of offices here.
When we first arrived here, this room had a table in the middle, a couple pieces of junk in the corners, this couch back here. That was it. And there was a lot of plaster and dust on the floor. It was just a mess. And the library, the small library, had tons of mold and mildew and shag carpet that was all moldy. It was just disgusting. And we heavily remediated all three of these rooms, but all we really did was environmental remediation, and then we did just general cleanup. We haven't fixed anything in these rooms. We just cleaned them really extensively and put furniture in them and light bulbs and lamps and stuff, and it's come back to life pretty nicely. The house has been explored by a myriad of different people over the years. I mean, we had people that were somewhat local to the community that were just curious about what was beyond the iron fence. Initially, when the exploring started, however, it really was just urban explorers, photographers coming to photograph the house and not really causing any damage. But of course, you know, with notoriety comes vandals and such along the way. And there were people that would come in here, and I guess they were taking their pent up aggression out on the house. Now I will say that, you know, while we've had a multiplicity of damage around the building, we are very fortunate to not have had worse. There are a lot of abandoned properties that have seen far worse, but I almost feel that Lynnwood Hall commanded some respect in that regard, just because of how grand and how beautiful of a building that it is. And you know, we're very grateful that it's intact is what it is. It could have been far worse. I've had a lifelong passion for architecture, art, old buildings. You know, I discovered this one in particular when I was just 11 years old. I found it on an old website, I think it's still active, called Abandoned But Not Forgotten. And I remember scrolling down that page and seeing a picture, a black and white picture of this building out front. And it said Lynnewood Hall, and I clicked on it, and there were only 3 or 4 pictures of it. And for whatever reason, I was like, this is a really interesting building. it looks like a government building, but it also looks like it's in the middle of a large piece of land, which is strange. So let me just look this up. And I was absolutely blown away when I found out that it was a private residence. I'd never seen a residential building like this in the United States. Granted, I was only 11, but anyway, it captured my interest, and I subsequently spent years and years and years studying every aspect of it, the family, the history, the art collection. And in 2018, I had my first opportunity to come into the property for the first time. And in 2019, several colleagues and myself formed the Lynnewood Hall Preservation Foundation, which is a 501c3 nonprofit, with the express purpose of purchasing this house and turning it into, restoring it over the course of many, many years, and turning it into a combination of an art museum, a cultural center, and a recreational venue for the public. We always wanted this project to be done for the benefit of the community moving forward.
What were some of the more difficult things you had to deal with when you acquired this property?
The road to acquiring this property was not an easy one. I mean, it's something this monumental. One would not ever expect it to be an easy task. But we had an owner who was a very nice individual, but a little bit difficult, a little bit challenging in some areas too. I mean, he had both wanted to sell and not wanted to sell this building for a myriad of different reasons I won't get into. But by and large, I mean, it really came down to right time, right place, finding the right funding at the appropriate moment, and just a lot of hard work and tenacity. I mean, you got it when you have a dream about something, don't ever give it up. I mean, whatever you can imagine is 100% achievable in your mind. You just have to keep going for it again and again and again, and you have to accept failure, sometimes multiple times. And gosh, is that a bitter pill to swallow? But when you just keep plugging away at something that you believe in so passionately, especially when you know it is for the greater good for the community and for our cultural fabric as a country moving forward, you will achieve your dream. And we are so honored and humbled to be here in this position today. But to say it was a long road is putting it lightly. But again, we are so grateful. There's so much here that can be incubated for the community, educational and recreational ways. But the building is really. It's really one of the most spectacular residential buildings built in America, which again is a very young country and does not have a lot of architecture of this style here. So yes, I think that's a very long way of saying I think yes, it's a very important building that needs to be preserved for future posterity.
What does the future look like for Lynnewood Hall?
So the future of Lynnewood Hall is mixed use. We want to restore the building over the course of many years, but in phases. So we'll open the property in phases, most likely starting with the exterior, which we're currently working on. And we would love every aspect of the restoration to encompass education in the skilled trades. So we have the millwork, we have the plaster work, we have the electricals and the plumbing. Those are artworks in and of themselves. There's a myriad of different trades here that we can bring master craftsmen in from around the country, around the world, and have them teach students their crafts. So masonry, for example, or highly decorative plasterworks. Yes, there are people that know how to do those, but the volume of individuals that know how to do these individual skills is shrinking every year. A lot of these people are retiring, and there's not enough people coming in to fill those positions. So we feel very strongly about education in the arts and the trades, which is something that we want this entire building to become an incubator for. With 110,000 square feet and 35 acres of land, plus an 18,000 square foot house, plus a 1,500 square foot guest house or gatehouse, we have multitudes of opportunity here for that. And obviously, at the very, very end of all of this, which will all be phased in over the years as things start coming back to life and becoming more accessible to the public, we want this building to be a cultural and educational resource to the community. And what I mean by that, we have 5 art galleries in this building, 4 of which are right above us upstairs. And we want to bring those art galleries back to what they were and bring them up to museum grade and all that, so we can have fine art hanging in those galleries again, and partner with neighboring museums and institutions to bring educational institutions into the building and exhibitions, so that there's always a reason for somebody to come back to Lynnewood Hall. But we also want to create and develop an archival system as well through local community history, so people can come here to learn about their ancestry, to learn about the history of Cheltenham Township or Philadelphia or Pennsylvania. We want to have cultural programming here, educational programming in art and music and literature, a whole bunch of different things as well. But that's kind of the long-term goal for the property. We want it to be used and available by the community for the community as much as possible.
Were there plans to ever subdivide this property in the past or tear the building down?
There were, over the years, Lynnwood had several times been threatened with developing the lands, maybe even tearing down the building itself, but moreover, just kind of subdividing the property and developing the lands. And I do want to make it clear that it's something that the foundation will never do. We're very big on the green space and having that accessible to the community, and we want to keep the buildings as intact as possible. We will never take away or add to the building footprints as they are.
Joseph's son wrote in a book about his family. The days of America's privately owned treasure houses are over. They are gone with the wind. It was one of the last American Versailles.